Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. Welcome. Happy Easter, Passover, Ramadan, whatever you celebrate. Welcome. As always, all readings are for the purposes of entertainment only. I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a financial advisor. If you need one of those, please seek those. I hope everybody is well. Hi, Regine. Welcome. Short list today, so we finished early and we're done and we get out of here. Do you want to, Regine, you can ask your question if you want. Allie, everybody else, if you're here, go ahead and just start putting your questions in. I just a reminder. Hi, Allie. Oh, Allie, I always spell it with an I. I don't know why. I thought, I'm sorry. Anyway, reminder, I'm on TikTok, so please check me out over there. This light, hang on, let me move it. It's like giving me dog eyes. Like droopy dog eyes. Let me see if that's a little better. So yeah, follow me on TikTok because I talk over there and I do little things and stuff. So check me out over there. I'm not doing readings over there yet because I don't have 1,000, and I'm not sure that I'll do readings over there. We'll see how it works itself out. Anyways, I don't know if you made your moon water, if you did your full moon incantations. Hi, KK. Whatever it is you did, I hope you did it well. There's anything. Oh, I have a psychic development circle starting April 26th. It's going to be limited to 8 people. It's only a 4-week series. And if you're interested, but you don't have the finances for it, let me know and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Okay. That's that. You can look at that on my website, myspiritualfriend.com. My TikTok is my_spiritual_friend. I pretty much try to keep it as easy as possible to find me. Why does it? Oh, it's the lighting. Hang on, I have to move this. Technical difficulties. So my mom is in town. So my setup that is normally set up all the time is not. So I had to run down here anyway. Okay, let's do this. Oh, those are some tarot cards. Okay. Let's see, Allie. Oh, I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But hang on. Want to know if I'll pass all my classes this semester. Just taking 3 business courses and 1 German class. So funny. As soon as you said the German class, I feel so tight in my throat. This is actually going to be the hardest class for you over your business classes. And it just feels like, so what's, it's so tight. Girl, your throat chakra is blocked. Okay. I'm like, la, 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 la. That is actually one way, by the way, to help open up your throat chakra is singing. So in the shower, in your car, in your quiet space, who cares what you can do or how well you can do it? Just sing. That will help you out. The other thing is the affirmations, like my voice matters, I am valuable, everything around that. It's safe for me to be heard and seen. So if you think you are blocked in your native tongue, try learning a new tongue and you will have a lot of other issues. So I actually feel like it's a fear of making a mistake and a fear of having a harder time. So I do feel like you'll pass all of your classes, but I feel like your difficulty and your struggle will actually be mostly in the German class. So while you may have a heavier workload through your business classes, it feels like it's more logical to you. It makes more sense. It's not the struggle. It's not a bad thing. Lots of people have throat chakra issues. It's not broken. Hi, Dina. Happy Easter. So listen, here's a sign that you have a throat chakra issue. This is something that I had to deal with for a really long time. And then when I made the connection, I usually make the connection to things after I start working on them and healing them. So for me, I did not like the sound of my own voice. I couldn't stand it. It actually made me cringe when I would hear it, on recordings or voicemails or stuff like this. So Do you like the sound of your voice? Does it make you cringe? That's a good sign. If it makes you cringe, then that's where you need to start working with things around, with affirmations around your voice. I am valuable. I am worthy. My opinions matter. My emotions matter. My emotions, they don't have to make sense. They just are, and they're valid. Things like that. Hi, Danny. Happy Easter. Right. So you have to use your voice, and you have to be in front of people, and you have to be vulnerable. But understand, nobody expects perfection. Nobody expects like you to be a fluent speaker, because that's why you're learning. So you might make mistakes. It might be a little bit more difficult. Offer yourself room for grace and just say, no, like walk in there with, I'm trying the best that I can. I did my best. So I sort of do this with my kids. When I was really little, while my mom might have been not present in many aspects, one thing she did offer me was, and I thought this was brilliant, when I got a C in a science class in like 6th grade or something. And she was like, well, you think you can do better next time? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, no problem. Like it was like there was no whatever. And I never walked into a test. I never had test anxiety because I never walked into a test thinking, oh my God. I was just always like, I have studied as much as I can study. I have learned as much as I can learn. And I just need to go in and do the best that I can. So like prepare yourself. Know that you're doing the work because it's the best that you can do, but don't expect perfection. Perfection is like, it's literally a state that you can move into but a second, and then you're imperfect again. It's not a constant. It cannot be held as a constant. So your German, you may get like a C plus or a B minus. I'm not saying you can't do better, and I'm shoving the energy at you to do that. You'll do better than that. But I'm saying like also recognize, I think the thing that also, I was like, I don't know if you've talked to anybody who's been in nursing school, but it's a lot. And I would always just say, C's get degrees. And it's like kind of crappy. But some people learn more on the job than they do in a book. So it doesn't, just because someone has average grades doesn't mean they're an average at their job. It's just like, it's not really set up for whatever. So just relax a little bit. Nobody at a point, nobody's going to go, well, you only had that in school, so we don't want to hire you. That's why I said, I think that my feeling is that with your business classes, it's actually going to be more of a logical thing, and it's not going to be such a struggle for you. Hello. All right, Regine, mom and dad both tested positive. They kept dad at the hospital, everything. Oh, I'm sorry, Regine. What's dad's first name? So before I look at his name, I just want to tell you what I get. So I do feel like he'll be okay. I do feel like he'll be there for a little bit. I feel like they're going to give him, there's something new that they've been using. And I don't know the names of all of these drugs for like antiviral things for COVID. And I feel like he'll be okay. But I do feel like it's like kind of a slower recovery. So it may be that maybe they release him to like a rehab facility for a little bit, or like a nursing home, but it's just a temporary thing for him to, like, he needs nursing care, but maybe not the higher level that he would need in a hospital. I have to say, I do feel like he's going to be there a couple weeks. Like, I don't feel like it's a 2-day stay. The good thing is, and I know this is not like great, This is not the beginning of the pandemic. So they have a better idea of how to treat. They have medicines now, right? So they have a better plan in place. On what they're looking at. But I do feel like he has a lot of secretions. When they did a chest x-ray on him to keep him, did he have more like spots of opacity in his lower lobes versus being in his upper lobes? He smokes. Thank you, KK. So they're showing me, like if I were to look at x-rays of a lung, the opacity is like the white spots where it's real white in an area. So, and it feels like the lower lobes are really, really white. Okay. So that's why I'm getting the 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. They might end up putting a chest tube in him to help during that. Will he also suffer from COPD? So like, I feel like my senses, they go, I'm like, so he's a smoker. And they're like, he's not going to be smoking after this. I do feel like, I got to be honest, I do feel like he's going to be on oxygen. Like he's going to go home with O2. But I don't feel like he's going to die. I don't feel all that stuff. And I do feel like they're going to temporarily put him on like a blood thinner or something. Because I do feel like he's going to have some little clots. Does he also have, is he hard of hearing in his left ear? Because I'm feeling like blocked in my left ear. Okay. Yeah, I just felt it in my left ear. And because I think it's, for me, just giving me more validation that I am connecting with his energy. He's tired. So maybe in the hospital for 2 to 3 weeks and then maybe a rehab facility afterwards. Because I do feel like he's going to need a little bit of rehab afterwards, like PT. I do feel like he'll stop smoking. Yeah. I don't feel like he's going to have much of a choice, to be honest with you. So I think they showed me that they're putting a nicotine patch on him. Do you know if they put a nicotine patch on him? So that might be something that they do for him. I don't know why, because I saw a nicotine or a patch on his left arm. So I was like, why didn't he quit smoking earlier? They're like, he's stubborn. My grandfather, he smoked like, I think 4 packs a day. He was a heavy smoker. And he lived till he was in his 80s. So it wasn't like he died early or anything. And they just reminded me of when he went into the hospital. He went in for cancer, for colon cancer. And he lit up a cigarette. And this is years and years ago. And the nurse went in and she was like, Mr. Muller, you're in here for cancer. And he goes, and this is why I'm saying this, because I think this is something your father would say. He goes, I didn't have it in this end. My grandfather had this really deep, raspy voice. So he's a big man. You did not mess with him. Horse's ass. So I feel like he'll be okay. I know it's easy to say, but try not to worry. Your mom is going to be okay, but I feel like emotionally, this is going to be really tough on her. So, I feel like she would joke if she could just get a break from him, but I think my sense is that she's actually having a harder time emotionally with this. So just make sure you're checking in with her. So it's like remind yourself your dad's being taken care of. He's got really great nurses at his bedside. There's one that's younger in particular. I feel like that she really doesn't let him get away with being the cranky old fart that he is. And some people are really great when they're not in the hospital, and then when they're in the hospital, they all of a sudden become like the biggest pains in the butt. So, he'll be okay though. Okie doke. All right. You're super welcome. Please let me know. Keep us posted on how he's doing. So I've got Shar and Urban Lady. Are you here, Urban Lady? Are you here, Shar? Super. I want to know what my guides can tell me about what to do in the situation with me and my mother, Fatima. I'm leaning towards a car being out in September. When I sat there, I was like, in September it'll shift. I feel like it's a certified used car. I don't feel like it's going to be a brand new car or a lease or anything like that. I feel like it's, and they're actually showing me like a little red sedan, like a little red 4-door car. I heard Passat, but I don't know if it's a Volkswagen. It's one of the smaller ones. So I was sort of just asking. It was funny because when I got with your mom and you said, "Oh, she threatened you," I actually felt like it's like I don't feel like you're disrespectful or rude about asking for a ride or doing any of those things. I just feel like your mom, like if you don't hold yourself just right or say just the right answer or just the right thing that you it's like she does manipulate you with that, and it's really unfortunate because I don't feel like you take advantage of using the car. I feel like it's to get a ride to go to work or go grocery shopping, or I don't feel like you're out all night partying with friends. And I feel like you're using them for legitimate reasons, and you're not leaving her stranded to where she can't use her own car. And I feel like you set a schedule and you're like, "Oh, I work these days or I have class these days," and you work it out with her. And I feel like, but it's like you're supposed to agree with her on everything. I'll look up Gia, okay? I'm not saying it's for campus, but I'm saying it feels like for legitimate reasons. It doesn't feel like I'm just out partying with my friends and driving around and like I don't really care if my mom has stuff. Like you're considering her feelings. I don't feel like you're being inconsiderate. But I do feel like sh she expects you to toe the line. So what they're making me feel like is some of this is not so much that you need to like set boundaries. It's really just approaching it in a different style of conversation. So because she has always responded in one certain way, it's sort of like you assume, and so you come forth with that energy. Whereas, and I'm not saying it's manipulating her, it's just understanding how you approach it. So making sure that you offer in the conversation that you're considering her in the decision and the request that you're making, something like that. So, hey, I know you have X, Y, and Z going on. Can I, or would you be willing? It's like sort of like making sure she gets considered because I feel like she doesn't sometimes feel like she's being considered. Or they're sort of saying like fill up the gas occasionally and don't say a word about it. And don't be like, oh, look at what I did. Just be like, fill up the gas and don't say a word. And don't expect a thank you. Don't expect a certain like gratitude out of it. It is just leave it as it is. I asked them like specifically just now, like, well, what does she really need to do to fix it? And they're like, part of this is growing pains because it's also, did you happen to put a manifesting thing out there like living on your own, financially independent, able to take care like out of the house? Because sometimes when we do those things, I'm not looking at the answer yet, but I'm explaining it, so I don't get like, so I can go in that direction because it sort of feels like she manifested this. And remember that when we're manifesting to bring in something new and something big, like if I were to put a big piece of furniture in here, I'd have to get rid of and or move furniture around, move it upstairs or something with it. Like I can't just move a giant piece of furniture in here and be like when you manifest and bring new things in, things get moved out. And sometimes it gets moved out in a manner we're not really like we weren't intending. Sometimes it's explosive and disruptive. Because then, like you say, like, okay, I'm ready for this growth. And then all of a sudden it happens and you're like, whoa, wait, maybe not. Like, they're like, but you said you were ready. So we gave it to you. Right. But if you're manifesting that and you're at that end, so like if you're like, I don't have the support, so you're manifesting that you don't have the support, but you want this, so you're trying and like they don't fit together. So instead of saying I don't have the support, I have the support. I am supported. I am financially independent. My job always money flows to me. Like work on your relationship with money. Think of money as being like personify it. Money loves me because if you had a relationship with somebody and all you were talking about was like they're terrible, they're horrible, they're never around when I need them, and they heard you talking about it all the time because think money's energy always is hearing, it's listening. So if you're always talking bad about that person and they know it, are they going to come and love on you and show up for you? Nope. So show money love first and money will love you back. So it feels like I manifested this because I want this, but now like all these situations are coming up to make you even more uncomfortable because sometimes that's the only thing that gets us to move on and do the things we want is to get uncomfortable. Just saying. Hi, Liz. So that's not magic. That's just like some of that is some of what's going on with you is like about you, your own growth and moving on. So it's not like fix it and put a band-aid on it and be codependent and like make it all look better. And um your mom's passive aggressive. So like there's a manipulative aspect to her using this car thing, but I also feel she's like at the same time passive aggressive, at the same time doesn't like it doesn't feel like she has like you're willing to look at yourself and be self-aware, and I don't feel like she's self-aware, like she's not there. So think about how you're manifesting and think about what you're manifesting, and remember literally everything that you ask for comes to you. Whatever follows I am is important. So I am not supported. Well, then guess what? The universe goes, that's a command. Whatever follow, like the command word is I am. And if you're coding on a computer and you put a command in, the program has to follow. So if I am is the command word, I am not supported, I don't have that support, the universe goes, oh, okay, sure, no problem. We're going to give you situations and have people show up and have money not show up and all of that stuff in ways that show you that you are not supported, that you are not validated, that you're not valuable, that you're not worthy, all of that. Okay, I've got after Regine or whoever, I've got Gia for one and then Liz for one. Urban Lady, are you here? Hopefully that's helpful. You're welcome. So I'm going to put this on a little TikTok because I thought about it, but you see people talking about like, you got to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself around people's energy. It's going to drain you. Well, first of all, energy is infinite, so you'll never be drained of it. Some people are more wearing and draining, but they are less so if you have a really good self-concept. So if you show up for yourself and you've done that work on the I am stuff, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am validated, I validate myself, I'm valuable, I'm proud of myself, I'm a great person, I'm kind, I'm funny, I'm smart, I've got great ideas, like anything positive, whatever. Of course I'm gorgeous, right? If you show up that way, then like all the lower level, like not, I don't want to say lower, but like that energy that's like not in the same vibrational pattern as you're in, and it's like feels a little more dense. Guess what? It doesn't matter as much because you're like, whatever, like you're not into what I have. I don't give a shit because I think I am cool as hell. Like it just doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you the same way. So you don't need the protection, right? So if you're in this space of like doing really well and like bouncing along and really in your groove and doing great, and somebody's like a little jealous, like, oh, look at her. What did she think? Yeah, I do think I'm the shit. Look it, who cares? Like if you're there, it doesn't matter if somebody else isn't there. So like work on your self-concept because then you don't get drained and there's no like, I need protection. You don't need all that. You're good. I'm not saying that negative energy isn't out there. I'm not saying that there aren't attachments and things out there, but I am telling you that if you are in a good mind space and you have really worked on your core stuff, they don't attach to you. They just don't. You aren't that tasty energy that they want. They just don't like it. Yes, of course, KK, you could ask a question. Urban Lady, are you here? You typed your question, so I can always answer it. All right, Gia or Liz C, what are your questions? Oh, it's that time of day. I don't know what it is, but when the ringer goes off, I don't know if anybody else has this, but like when the sun hits a certain like level, my ring starts to go off. I'm like, why did like you're moving back to New Jersey? Yay! Put it into your brother's home. How long do you see it before you'll get to be in your own place? I actually feel like it's going to be closer to 18 months. Are you moving like in South Jersey? So, Liz, I'm gonna answer that question, but I'm also gonna talk to you about manifestation because I'm big on mindset. I'm like, it's everything, and I've manifested good, bad, ugly, all of it. Like I am, and it's like I am a trauma survivor, so I don't sit there. I used to get angry when I would hear, like Abraham Hicks be channeled and say like, oh yeah, like we wanted our trauma. Like that's a really fucked up thing to say to somebody who's a trauma survivor. Because no, you didn't. But we did come in with stuff. There is stuff that we had zero control over. And so like, but once you're aware, it's like once you have like realized that like you can manifest things and that your mindset is everything. And who is it? Go ahead, that's fine. I love you. What's it? Oh no. I love you, Bucky. So where was my brain? Okay. So once you're aware, once you have awakened to understand manifesting, and then you're like, that's where you take responsibility. Like the other stuff, you do not shame yourself. Do not be angry at yourself. Do not like be super gentle about all the past stuff because listen, if you didn't know that those tools existed and you had that like, or the store wasn't open that sold the tools, like no one's blaming you. No one's asking you to take responsibility for that. That's like not cool. Okay. Just want to say that. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Gia. Sorry, I get a little sidetracked. So I got 18 months and then, Gia, you said you're North Jersey. I know 18 months feels a long time, but I feel like what happens is like saving up money to have like down payment, stuff like that. Like, I feel like that's it. It feels like a long time, but it's really not that long time. And also remember time is like passing super, super, super quick now. So it feels like, but I don't know why they were showing me. So it's funny when I asked the question, they were like, no. And they showed the Passaic. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel like there's some connection for you down on like a shore town. So maybe not South Jersey, but I feel like maybe moving along near the shore more. Do you have a connection to Barnegat? Is that a name, Barnegat? So just hold on to that because they said that name as a town. And I don't listen, even though I live here and I've lived here for I lived in Jersey since 2007, 2008. So a while. And I live, was in New York before that, in the city before that. So I still don't know a lot of the towns. It's just what I heard. So maybe keep it in your little back pocket. It might make sense later. So as far as you moving in with him, because I was just asking, like, how will it be living situation wise? And it feels like it's actually going to go a lot smoother than you think. Like, even if you're like, oh God, I have to go like move in with my brother, but I feel like it's going to work out better than you think. And so it's not going to be like this, like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. I feel like it's like there's a nice understanding between the two of you. All right. Let me just see. Urban Lady left a message and I'll answer her. You're welcome. Living with family like that, that was your, I don't know, your core family, and like it can be difficult. I get it. I lived with one of my sisters as an adult. I never want to live with either of them again. I don't talk to either of them, but so I definitely wouldn't want to live with them, but it was not fun. But it was good learning. Prayer meditation have been, let me see what she wrote. Hang on. So I can just answer her question. Has been a task. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to answer Liz's and then I'll do Urban Ladies and then I'll do KK's. Is that okay to wait, KK? You good with that? Okay, so, all right, let's talk about Edgar. I gotta be honest, I feel like Edgar has a little bit of a blocked throat chakra, so he might not be the most communicative, not so great about expressing his emotions or doing so in a really constructive manner, not really in touch with his emotions. So it's not that I don't feel like I feel like he genuinely likes you. I don't feel like he's a user and abuser and moving on, but I do feel like he's not exactly in touch with his emotions. I would say he's emotionally immature. And so this could create miscommunication issues. I don't feel like he's intentionally withholding. I just feel like he doesn't know how to process them and also doesn't even really know how to put a name on it. So it will create issues in the relationship. And I say this not to say, don't be with him. This is a red flag, but this is also something that I feel like you will manifest in multiple relationships where you do tend to date people that are emotionally unavailable. And that goes back to your own core self-belief stuff. And I'm talking about like, I am valuable. And I said that stuff about throat chakra stuff here. So the universe says, right, there's that saying that like everything in the universe is a mirror of who you are, but that's not entirely true. And I feel like it wasn't really, it got lost in translation along the way. So like they said, you tend to do this. So, it's not a mirror of who you are. It's a mirror of what you believe yourself to be. So if you feel like you're not worthy or valuable, if you feel like an emotional connection you're not deserving of that, you're not deserving of respect because, it's like, oh, I don't think we consciously go around like, I don't respect myself, but then we like allow certain behaviors and certain patterns to come in that shows up as disrespectful to ourselves because we tolerate it, right? So I remember when I was in my 20s, I dated lots of crappy guys, but there was one in particular. I became friends with a woman in my apartment complex who's like 40 or so. And she was very gentle about telling me this, but it didn't click and I didn't make sense because I didn't have a great self-concept. She was like, because there's this guy that I had a crush on that was in the complex as well. And she said, like they only treat you like what you'll tolerate, or basically like how you allow them to treat you, something like that. And I was like, I don't want him to treat me bad. Well, of course not. But then like just 96 them, get out of there. Like it's done, or 86 them. That's right. It is 86. Like you don't need to tolerate that behavior. So there is the manifesting idea that like what you believe shows up to be. So if you're just like, if you're constantly worrying about like, oh my God, they're this, they're that, they're not doing this, they don't love me. They don't like, they'll show up and be that. But if you're just like, whatever, they always treat me with respect. And like anytime the bad behavior shows up, just ignore it as if it's not there. And like, eventually they show up the way you want. It's like when you train a dog, like you don't give attention to their bad behavior. It doesn't mean you don't correct it, but you don't really like make a big deal out of it, but you really make a big deal out of the good stuff. It's kind of like that. But I say this is the best way to do it, but this is just me. So listen to other coaches too. There's one, I forget the name of her name. I used to recommend her all the time. I really like her. She talks about relationships all the time and self-concept and stuff. She's on YouTube here somewhere. I can't think of her name. But for me, working on your self-concept means then you finally just go, oh, I don't like have the bandwidth and the emotional energy and want to like dump into the drama and you not showing up the way I want you to show up. So like, then you're like, I'm leveling up and I'm only going to be with a guy who like has done the therapy, who has done the work, who is in touch with his own emotions and is not, toxically masculine. So, I mean, listen, and I'm saying this as a person who has accepted a lot of breadcrumbs in her life. And not anymore. So like been there, done that, over it. I ain't got time for it. Urban Lady, you said that meditating has been taxing for you during this Lenten season. So let me ask them about that. So I don't feel like it's because you're doing anything wrong or you're being punished or anything like that. It just feels like chaos kind of, but like a good chaos. So lots of upheaval, lots of things moving out. And I do feel like you've set some intentions lately of setting healthy boundaries, no longer tolerating, like changing who you want to hang out with. So I don't want to hang out with those ladies that just sit around and gossip. I don't have time for that. I want to hang out with people that are like leveling up. They talk about concepts and ideas, and like, I don't have time to talk about people, right? Unless they're people that I'm like, look at what they're doing. They're amazing. I need to function more than that. I need to think that way. I need to process that way. I'm going to do that. Like, right. So coming from a really like uplifting aspect of it. Right. And so like having that idea that like who we hang out with is really like propels us forward. Cause I do feel like you're in a really big area of expansion and it feels like abundantly expanding. So like lots of stuff is falling away. And it also, when you're in that, like they're like, she's gotten in that mode of expansion and growth, like the energy is so like vibrationally going you're like a tea kettle, like getting ready to like go off. It's hard to sit in meditation. It's hard to sit quiet and find that center. So it's like you find other ways to do it when you're in those periods of growth. So do it during a walk, like do it during exercise, like connect in during those moments in movement, because it's you're moving one energy, like you're sort of like moving one energy out so you can bring another in. I did like on TikTok, I went out for a walk this morning. I'm like starting to try and walk every day because I think for my stress level, I just need to like move. But and it's because I don't. It's a long story. I'm healing my root and my sacral chakras, and so I'm just approaching my exercise and my fitness a little bit differently right now as a conscious way of whatever. Anyway, because I do like weightlifting and all that, but like I just feel like I'm trying to heal something differently, so I'm doing things differently. Anyway, so I was filming a whole bunch of videos, and I get lots of inspiration and connection while I'm in movement. I also get lots of inspiration and connection in the shower. So don't think about that your meditation practice has to be like I'm sitting down with music in a quiet space and I'm finding it that way. Find it in different spaces in your connection. Meditation and prayer is not really, it's not about having to do it a certain way or in a prescribed way. It's just, prayer is just connection with higher, like your guides or source, or God, whatever you want to call it, or your higher self. If you're not into like there's this omnipotent whatever. And you can do that anywhere. And lots of people who do the work I do will tell you that like the shower is a fantastic space to do that. So take that for what it's worth. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just you're in a massive period of like massive expansion and growth, like mass acceleration. And you're also like consciously deciding who you want to be with and like the type of people you want to surround yourself with. And it's the growth mindset people. And I'm not just talking about like accumulating stuff. It's like super leveling up on like your approach towards life. Hi, Chris. KK, do you want to go ahead? Chris, these are paid readings. It's $12 a question and 30% I'm donating to the ACLU because, hello, if you read anything about what's going on with laws in our red states, it is not okay by me. I know your birthday's coming up. I have it in my calendar. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not, it's like, I feel like, are you taking a channeling class or something? Because to me, it feels like really working on, like, I'm really channeling with much more clarity. So that feels like the next phase. And I also feel like more like, so you're really like this, my left ear feels really open. And I saw this one, somebody say this. So now it's like in my word bank, my spiritual dictionaries, this is what I feel and how I get my symbols. But so where if I feel my left ear open, this is connection with spirit and source, like we're with like the higher beings, right? And the right side is going to be loved ones that have crossed over that, like the people who are most recently earth people, souls. So I feel like this side's really clear. Like you've been really great about listening to guides and hearing guides or whatever. And I feel like leveling up on my mediumship skills, like that's going to start coming through much more clearly. And I do feel like actually a grandfather of yours will be someone who's connecting with you and sort of giving you the family secrets. Even okay. So yeah, so I feel like channeling and then I feel like connecting more with doing mediumship work. So it feels like it's going to have a lot to do. I don't feel like reading a lot for other people, though I feel like you'll do that a bit. But it feels like really kind of digging in and like your own growth and your own healing. And then by February, maybe shifting into having some of your own practice there. Okie doke. So if I don't have any more things, then I might just be logging off for the night. To art. I don't feel like the mediumship, but the channeling could definitely be like that can, even though they're getting say it through the mouth or whatever, it can definitely be through art because that's another way that people channel. Also, they said you're not as bad as you think you are. So, like when you're being overly critical of your artwork, you need to step back from it, like do it and then like put it away for a little bit and then pull it out and like look at it. And remember that we are our worst critic. So like give yourself more credit. But I do feel like it's like one of those things where like when I write something, like I was writing something that's going to go in my journal, that I'm printing, and I'm going to be doing that very soon. I have half of it. I realized that I uploaded it to be able to print it, and then I realized that I needed to format it just slightly differently because they weren't aligned right, and it was annoying me. And so if it was going to annoy me, then I don't want to like have you pay for a book and then the alignment's off, and I'm like annoyed by that. So I'm realigning stuff anyway. But when I was rereading through it, I realized, oh, like it's like when you take a break from it and then re-look at it, you're like, oh, I could have written this better, or this could be cleaner, neater, less wordy, a little bit more clear and articulate. So it just feels like you'll look at it, you'll take a step back, and so you'll be like, oh, and add to it or adjust it or whatever. And like then you'll be a little bit more proud of it instead of just being like ho hum. And they're also saying nobody got good at anything without like sucking at it first. Stop holding back. It's funny because that also is connected to your throat chakra, believe it or not. So I realize that like sometimes I'm not posting as much as I like. I get all kinds of ideas all the time to post for TikTok. Number one, it's really about how I'm always worried about judgment and how I'm being seen and how people, because doing this work, all kinds of people in my life have felt no holds barred what they can say to me in their own criticism of who I am. Friends of my husband, family members, you name it, have felt no problem telling me what they think. My own, like not anymore, but like years ago, my own friends. And like, or like when I was filming this morning, I was talking, I was like, oh, people are walking by. I need to be quiet for a minute. And the reality is, none of these fuckers are paying my bills. Why do I give a shit what they think of me? And there are people on these apps like literally just kicking a leg around and like, and they're getting like who gives a shit? Just have fun. Yeah. But also like, who gives a shit? Just go and do that. You won't lie on your deathbed and think like, oh shit, it is a good thing I didn't do my artwork because everybody would have told me what a piece of crap I was at it. You'll think, God damn it, why didn't I mean, pardon my French. I mean my English. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I just take a chance? What was I afraid of? What the ding dong down the street was gonna say? Why? Who are they anyway? Who are they? Nobody. What my parents are gonna say, they're gonna be dead before you know. I mean, not really, but you know what I'm saying? Like, who are they anyway? What, like, random dude who, like, who cares? Who cares? What if you you practice and practice and practice and you develop talent over time? And what if you're really fucking amazing at it? What if you end up being really amazing and you are an amazing artist and you're talented and you sell your work and you buy a house with that money? What if that? What if you become a really amazing artist and you channel some really amazing stuff and you change people's life? What if that? What if you get really good at it and you see like that maybe you weren't taught really well, but there's ways that you're really good at teaching other people and you're going to help them grow and like blossom into their own healing, whatever. What if that? And if you never try, you'll never know if that either. Stop holding yourself back. That is my Sunday. Happy pagan holiday. Oh, I should show you this. Wait, I have to show you this because this is cute. So the Easter Bunny came and the girls got their baskets and they did their little egg hunt. And like we're sitting on the couch and I thought I had told my girls, like, pick all your candy and stuff up off the ground and put it in your basket and then put the basket up high so Coco doesn't get it, our bunny. And somebody didn't, because, you know, they're kids and that happens. And I didn't look around to see if they had followed through. And then, and you know, bunnies like paper. Hang on, now I have to get through all, okay. And so I turn around and I hear this little rustling and like, what is going on? And hang on, let me see if I can show you if you want to see it. And Coco was in a basket. So that's that. We have a little bunny. All right, lovies. Y'all have an amazing week. Please check out my TikTok and support me over there because you might learn some stuff. If you want a private reading, myspiritualfriend.com. Go there. You can purchase one through my website. She's a very smart bunny and she's very funny. And I love her very much. She's my favorite pet. So yeah. So if you're interested in learning to develop your own intuition, check out my psychic development circles. Those are on my website as well. And have a fantastic week. See you later. Bye.